Does this invitation from Secretary of State Pompeo actually mean that everything is now back on track?
Well, President Trump reacted to the joint statement from the two leaders yesterday with quite a lot of enthusiasm, and Secretary of State followed up by saying that the U.S. was prepared to engage immediately in dialogue with North Korea. So there was the sense that if this summit between the two Koreas was a way of pushing the onus of negotiations back into the U.S. court, they certainly picked up the ball in showing that they want to try to move things forward. That said, the pledge by Kim Jong-un in the joint statement yesterday that he would shut down a missile engine testing facility as well as a missile launch pad, this has been said before. That was raised during the Singapore summit. As well, this promise to have outside experts from relevant countries observe is somewhat cryptic. He's not saying specifically that they can be international weapons inspectors. And you'll recall a few months ago when they blew up with great fanfare the cooling tower and tunnels at Punggye-ri, it was really only foreign journalists who were there to see it. There's also the issue of a list of nuclear facilities that the U.S. has wanted, that North Korea has not said a word about. The U.S. suspecting there are at least 2 enrichment facilities, perhaps a third, that are operating covertly there. And then, of course, this issue of verification. To what extent are international weapons inspectors going to be able to verify that these facilities are being shut down? So all of these issues are still before the two parties, but there is the sense that there was some progress made between North Korea and South Korea in their issues. Annalise?
Now, Janice, Moon Jae-in is wrapping up his visit to North Korea this morning. How successful has this trip been?
Well, there is the appearance of great success. This was a visit by Moon Jae-in that had great political and some personal significance to him. The first visit by a South Korean leader to the north in 11 years. And it yielded the promise that Kim Jong-un would visit Seoul. That would be the first ever visit by a North Korean leader to the south. Last night, at a performance of the mass games in Pyongyang, Moon Jae-in took the rare step, the first for a South Korean leader, to openly address the North Korean people. Tens of thousands of people in this stadium. He called them fellow Koreans, said that they have lived together for thousands of years and only 70 years apart, and that it was time for them to come together. And this would play heavily into the propaganda and messaging that is underway in Pyongyang. We were there last weekend for the big military parade. It seems that the anti-American rhetoric and propaganda there is largely gone, replaced now with this very hopeful, very optimistic messaging about reunification. So Moon Jae-in certainly returning to South Korea today with the sense that at an inter-Korean level, things are moving forward.